The recent murder of the United Health CEO has kind of sparked a weird response, as I'm sure we have all seen online, with more people apparently having sympathy for the alleged murderer than for the CEO. And, not that I have any love for insurance companies or CEOs in general, this was a human being. This was a father, this was a husband. He lost his life. And that is sad and that is tragic for the family. But then stories like this next one come along that make you understand why people have such animosity towards health insurance companies and the people who run them. Because according to a new report, increasingly across the country, health insurance companies are denying claims for people to get prosthetic limbs after an amputation because the health insurance companies are telling these people that your prosthetic limb is not medically necessary. Think about that for a second, folks. You lose your leg. You can't walk on your own now. You have to have some form of assistance unless you get a prosthetic. So the doctor says, I am prescribing you a prosthetic because that's what has to happen in order for the insurance to even get the claim. But then the insurance company comes back and says, I'm sorry, but medically speaking, you don't need that leg back. Denied. Prosthetic limbs typically cost on the low end about $50,000 and they go up from there. Most of the people who have prosthetics have to pay at least something out of pocket. And when insurance denies their claim, according to the report, these people either have to go without, or in many instances, they actually have to go to the bank and take out a loan to replace their limb that the insurance company was supposed to cover. So these people are driving themselves further into debt after clearly suffering something traumatic, because you don't just have a limb amputated because it's fun, because you were bored that day. Something bad has happened. And now to add insult to injury, you have to go into $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 of debt because some pencil pusher at the insurance company said, nope, you don't need a leg, you don't need a foot, you don't need to replace your dominant arm, because it's not, in their eyes, medically necessary. It's no wonder that people in this country hate health insurance companies. This is definitely not the most disturbing story I've ever talked about, but it's up there. It's top 10. This is horrific. Only 30% of amputees in this country even have prosthetics. And a lot of the reason for that is because of insurance companies denying the claims and the limbs themselves being cost prohibitive if they do not have insurance. This system has to end. We cannot continue on this path and remain a properly functioning country. Health insurance is one of the biggest scams ever pulled off on the American people. And it shouldn't exist, because we should have a universal healthcare system where if you need to go to the doctor, you don't have to worry, like, are they in network? Are they out of network? Well, maybe they're in network, but now they've scheduled a test that's, even though it's at an in-network facility, the test itself is out of network. And I'm actually using that as an example because that happened to me this week. We shouldn't have to do it. There shouldn't be these middlemen. There shouldn't be a group of people in a boardroom making decisions about whether or not you need a new leg after you lost yours. You should be able to get it. But until we hit the point where there is enough public outrage, and I'm not talking violence, do not take it as such, please. But we have to demand better. We have to demand a universal system that protects all of us, that gets us the care that we need. Don't listen to the scaremongering coming from the politicians who are being funded by the pharmaceutical industry, by the insurance industry, and by Wall Street. Don't listen to them tell you it's socialized medicine. The other countries that have these systems are laughing at us, and they're laughing at the lies that we're being told about universal health care. But until we move to that system, problems like this will always exist, and the people who need care, whether it's a surgery, a transplant, a prosthetic, or even just treatment, those people will have to go without because we've listened for too long from the lies of people being paid to tell you those lies. Thanks for watching, everybody, and if you're not already, please subscribe to the channel. We got fresh content every day for you. And if you want to follow us across social media, make sure you check out all of the social links that we have posted in the description of this video.